friends, it's Emmy. We are the channel Frugal Money Saver. Today I want to give you 10 frugal tips that we live by every day. This is our mantra, this is how we live, and this is how we do it. And I wanted to share the 10 things we do daily with you. We are a debt-free early retirement couple living in the state of New York. My husband Paul and I, we live an abundant life on less money, and we share our tips with you on how we go about that. So let's start and look at these 10 things we do on a daily basis. The first one is we are grateful for the small, plain, simple moments in our life every day. Every day we try to focus on simple joys. It could be watching the birds at the feeder. It could be going for a walk. It could be having scrambled eggs with cheese for breakfast. Whatever it is, that is our main focus for the day. It's these simple, inexpensive little joys that cost very little, but bring an abundance of contentment and just peace into our otherwise hectic lives. It's the little simple things that we concentrate on. Number 2, we eat creatively and we eat simply. If you've ever seen my grocery hauls and my recipes, you know we tend to cook from scratch a lot of times, and our meals are simple. They're really not over complex. We don't use a ton of exotic ingredients. We use things that are readily available and that are within the season, which is so important. We're not eating, fresh spring asparagus in the middle of winter. We'd be eating more heartier and in-season vegetables that cost less, like cabbage or potatoes, sweet potatoes, winter squash, things like that. So eating within the season. We also use up what we have. So we'll go to the refrigerator and I will look and say, well, Em, you've got some chicken, you've got some cheese and bacon. And then I'll go on to Google and I'll just put those 3 ingredients in and see what recipes come up. And there's always something that uses what I have, and there's always ways you can use what you have. So, you're being creative and you're using up the food. We also don't eat out a lot. We tend to cook most of our meals at home. I'd say 99.9% of the time we are eating home cooked meals. Yes, do I run out of ideas? I sometimes do, but tried and true favorites are always great. So that's number 2. Number 3, we track every penny we spend. Every single penny that comes out of our pockets, we track. Why do we do that? To make sure we're never going outside of our budget. We are never living above our means. Kind of simple, kind of basic, but if you're not doing that, I guarantee you could be spending in areas that we shouldn't be spending in or overspending in. It's really important to keep the areas of our budget within the allotted amount we allow ourselves. So if it is a $25 a month entertainment budget and you're spending $50 a month, that's not going to work. That's not going to work unless you pull from another category like food or utilities. So track every penny you spend. Number 4, always think outside the box to repurpose and repair what you already have. Point in case, I can link the videos down below when Paul redid our outdoor table with a piece of vinyl floor covering. When he redid our cast iron pot, it was rusty and old and he made it sparkling new. Think of ways you can repurpose and reuse what you already have. This is a great one. It saves so much money. I can look over at my husband probably half the day and he is looking up something to fix or to repair. Saves money, and he is also learning something new every day, right, Paul? This is a way that you can expand your knowledge of what to do and how to do it. So that's another super frugal tip that we use every day. Number 5, we don't compare ourselves to others. This one isn't always easy. I have to be honest with you, because you look around and you see what a lot of people have or how they're living, but we really try to not do that, because 9 out of 10 times those things they have, honestly, do we really want them? You know, Paul and I will go back and forth, even with the holidays coming up. He's like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, new measuring cups, okay? Like, really, a lot of times when we look at these people that have more than we do, well, we could have that too if we chose that lifestyle, if we chose to work another 20 years, if we had chosen to get a bigger home, if we chose not to pay off our mortgage. So there's trade-offs for everything. So when you're comparing yourself to others, you really need to look at the whole picture, because finding contentment in what you have is probably the greatest frugal gift you can give yourself. Number 6, we stay out of debt. We stay out of debt. I know that sounds simple, but it's the truth. We stay out of debt. We don't spend money we don't have. We don't. If we see something we want or need and we don't have the cash readily available, we'll save for it, or we'll make do with something else. We will not go into debt. That is just something he and I have talked about. We don't want it. We rather live our lives going to bed at night not owing anybody anything. It just works for us. It doesn't work for everybody, but for us, it does. Now, we had a mortgage, absolutely. And we had car payments at one time, but we paid everything down. We paid everything off. And now we just live on our monthly bills. And that's why we put money in the bank. And I stress this all the time with you. You have extra, put it away, because that will keep you out of debt. Our oil burner broke in the middle of the winter. I remember telling you all this in another video. We needed $8,000. Thank God we had it in the bank. You need to put money away. You need to save. Live below your means. So we stay out of debt. That's one thing we try to do. Number 7, we have our budget and we stick with it. We don't deviate from our budget. If there is, hypothetically, $50 a week in our food budget, then that's what we will spend. But let's say we go over, then like I said earlier, you're going to have to pull from another category, and you don't want to do that. So make a budget that is reasonable and that you can live with. Now, if you put $5 a week for food, I can't live on $5 a week on food, let alone 2 adults. I mean, and Dixie Belle has to eat, right? So that to us is not a way to do it. We do cut back on processed foods and things like that, and we save money that way. But as far as our categories go, they are reasonable and they are what we allot ourselves. Going out to eat, my budget used to be like, honestly, $200 a month. We could, right, Paul? No problem, spend $200 a month on food, going out to eat. Now, what is our budget now, would you say, Paul, that we eat out a month, honestly, with takeout and stuff?
$10.
Maybe $10. And that's like on a really good month, I think. He's right. We just don't eat out anymore. We don't. Number 8, we don't shop as a hobby. Shopping is not a hobby to us. We buy what we need out of necessity. And there are wants in there. Believe me, there are wants, but they're not extravagant wants and they're not compulsive wants. We watch our wants, if that makes sense. We don't shop as a hobby. Some people shop as a hobby. That's what they do. They get on the internet or they go to the store and just buy for the sake of buying. I have extra money. I'm going to spend it. Great. God bless you if you can do that. But don't be doing that if you cannot afford it. And again, I'm going to say this to you. Those of you who shop as a hobby, what is that replacing? What could you replace that with? Is there something you could replace that with? A different hobby that may not cost you so much and may not be just something that, is disposable. In other words, you get stuff, you throw it away. You get stuff, you give it away. It's I guess you're helping the economy. You could look at it this way, but there are so many better ways than just frivolous spending. So try to look at, what do we do for hobbies? Instead of shopping, we go for a walk. Paul plays music. I do my YouTube channel. We cook together. We visit in small group with friends and family. So there's so much to do. Try to watch the frivolous shopping. Number 9, if we do purchase something, we try to not have it be an impulse purchase. We try not to purchase things impulsively. We do our research before we buy something. We read reviews on things before we buy them. So it's not like just boom, we go out and make big purchases without thinking about it and doing our research. So impulse buying is not something we do. That's a habit we don't have. And number 10 is, I don't think we ever feel deprived. Paul, do you feel deprived in the lifestyle we've chosen?
No, not at all. No.
It's got so much in it other than material things that it overflows. And that's what we're trying to share with you. That contentment, that thankfulness, that, oh my goodness, I look around this house and I don't even know where to put the stuff that we do have, that we had accumulated all these years. That feeling of non-deprivation, honestly. We have food in the refrigerator, an abundance of different kinds of food. Even have that $5 extra to keep yourself from feeling deprived. Sometimes we'll go to the dollar store. I've showed you my hauls at the dollar store. We'll go in and each buy 2 things, and there's always something fun that you can find, or whatever it might be, or that little splurge purchase for $5 or $10. Always staying within your budget though. But that deprivation, we don't feel it ever. And I think that is a blessing. And once you can find ways to feel full and satisfied, aside from material objects, is a wonderful turning point in your life. When you can go and just feel content with what you already have, with the love of people in your life, with your spirituality, your relationship with God, then that contentment and that deprivation goes away. It goes away. It really and truly does. So I hope these 10 habits that we live by every day were an encouragement to you. We make them to let you know that you are not alone on your frugal journey. Paul and I are with you every step of the way, and we just want you to be blessed beyond. So until our next video, we love you. We wish you blessings, and be well, please. Bye-bye.